Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Gay Like Me Live. And I'm really excited to have this conversation. But before we get started, I forget to do this all the time. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get it out there. Let people know to come on into the room and join this conversation with me. But I'm excited to have this conversation because we're gonna be touching a lot of things. And we're really going to talk about masculinity in the Black gay community and how it affects people's life, and how we are so just rough on it. You know, we just have a high expectation of what masculinity is in the Black gay community. And the guest that I have today is Lashawn Dawson. And for which I'll get into the story with it, but I would say this, in the Black gay community, he represents what masculinity is what people want in the community. So I wanted to have this conversation with him because, recently I saw a different side of him and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But now we're able to kind of just talk about that. So instead of me just kind of talking in circles and not actually getting into the conversation like I want to, let me just bring him on in. Well, get your phone, Lashawn.
Oh goodness. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Solid that.
Let me silence that too. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Hi, Derek. How are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. I am freaking great. No complaints.
Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to have a conversation with me and chit chat. And we're just gonna go with. Well, you heard my introduction, but it was just all over because I couldn't really just go into what I wanted to go into without having you here. But one, like I talked to you before, I met you. Well, I briefly saw you at the airport. We were all headed to Philly, and I saw you at the airport, and I was like, Jesus, because you are a striking man. Like you're like tall, dark skin, like you are what people consider to be a man's man. And I was like, who the hell is this? And then, Christian told me who you were. I was like, oh, okay. And I moved on. Then I saw you again, and I would see you again. And then I started seeing you on the acting circuit on things. And I'm like, okay, who is this guy?
Right.
But then now you're doing with Legendary, and now it's showing a whole nother different side. But we're going to get that later on into the conversation. But I want to start off with one. If you can wrap Lashawn up in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Energetic, spontaneous, and lovable.
Okay. Those are good 3 words.
Thank you.
And then, so how old are you?
I am 34 years old. And guess what, Derek? This is me. I've been 28 for 7 years. Okay, so this is me letting it out, and I figured that was gonna be one of the first questions. I said, "You're gonna own that shit today."
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm 38, so
really?
We gotta live it to. That's another thing we're gonna talk about. That's a whole other story, though. But that ageism is a big thing,
right?
In the gay world, y'all, if you after 35.
The first thing they say when they mad, "What your old ass?" Your old ass.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm not even 40 yet.
Right, man, really good. But yes, I'm 34 years of age. I love it, and I'll be 35 July 12th. I'm a Cancer. So
okay, and you're from South Carolina.
Originally born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina,
which I'm assuming is the country.
Oh, most definitely the country. I'm talking about everybody business from the east side to the west side. And the country. It's street names named after our last names out there. It's real country down there.
So being a young Black boy from the country, when did you know that there was something different about you?
Okay. We're gonna jump right into this.
Oh yeah, we can run into it. We started from the beginning. We're gonna move right on up.
Right. I knew that it was something different when I had a male family member actually touch me in inappropriate ways that I knew that wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
I was about 8 years old. And that's when I just knew that something just wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Or not even say that it wasn't right. It was different because it's me. But at that moment, of course, with being 8 years old, you're like, what the hell going on? So that's when I knew. And from there, that's when I knew something was different.
Okay. And then, so when that happened when you were 8, was that an ongoing thing, or is that just something that kind of was like
It was somewhat ongoing. And I ended up finding out that it was like it was a cycle. Like he had been touched by someone that was older than him. And I found this out like years after. So it was like I said, it was a cycle. So yeah.
So before 8 years old, did you have any feelings for guys, like crushes? Like do you have a guy, or was it just anything that you thought about?
Nah, it wasn't. Not at 8. It wasn't anything that I thought about. I was more so not even into that, ironically, like with nothing. Like I always thought, of course, girls were extremely pretty. But as I stated at the beginning of the live, my mannerism was so different compared to like my half brothers and sisters at the time. Like I was more so kind of like always under my grandmother, laughing with her, or even, combing her head, scratching her scalp. My grandma loved that. Scratch my head, scratch the scalp, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I was more so with my grandmother and my mom versus like kind of being out, always wrestling and always, talking crap or trying to look at some of my older cousins who were, on the block doing stuff like that. That just wasn't me. So my mannerism made other people kind of tell me, you know what I mean? Like, when you don't act like how you supposed to act, and I'm like, well, damn, how am I supposed to act? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am. I'll say though, for sure, when I personally was, comfortable and I knew honestly, like, okay, I'm definitely attracted to both genders, is more so around like middle school is when I start really saying like, oh, he's nice, or he dresses nice, or and so on. And that's, I'll say, it started around me in middle school.
So middle school is when you say you had a name. What did you have a name for it in middle school, or you just still understood your feelings in middle school?
Nah, I mean, I knew, of course, that, being called, when I was younger, before that, like, oh, you got gay, or your brother gay. I would hear that from like other people, other family members that they would tell my brother that. My brother would come to me like, why you act like that? Or why you moving? Are you moving like a girl? Or punch me? I always want to hit me or something, like try to toughen me up. So, yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you a future question, but we're going to jump back. So okay. Do you think because of what your exterior now, do you think that's a result from being picked on when you were younger?
Most definitely. It definitely is, because as you know, as we talked about, I definitely can have two sides of me. As far as like with that ballroom talent and, fun as far as voguing. But I was personally brought up that being a man and being feminine was, that was absurd. That was not the way, or you were shot to hell for being that way. And it was just like the nerve of me being taught like that. But it happens out here, and it happens often, and in a lot of places that is just not right.
So you said in middle school, you started to understand you like both sexes. So now did you consider yourself bisexual in middle school, or?
I did, yeah, because of course I still at that moment was. Man, it's crazy. I just silenced that. I'm so sorry.
You popular.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but.
I knew that, of course, because I kept a girlfriend. And I like guys though, like my friends who sometimes that I would be, just regular kicking it, playing the game with, like I knew that there were certain ones, and I'm like, oh, he's handsome, or, at that time I'm not saying handsome, I'm like, oh, he looks good. Basically, that's how I was keeping it, very me. I was like, oh, damn, he looked good. So I knew right then and there, of course, that like, I was bi. I always at that time kind of tried to blame it on, what happened to me when I was younger, when really, I mean, we don't know if maybe that's why that did happen too.
Mm-hmm.
It's because again of my mannerisms, and they thought like, oh, he's definitely gay. I'm gonna do this to him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just who I was.
Now, do you? And I'm glad you brought that up because and then you really speak so. You speak so. Not I don't want to use the word nonchalantly about it, but it's not. What was it a traumatic experience for you? Because you gotta just.
I mean, it's getting to the point where I'm at right now. It's just far as like life that I can say it so nonchalantly. Please note that it wasn't an easy thing. Please note that it was something that definitely fucked with me for a while. I personally feel like when I became like comfortable with being able to say it was after me and my mom discussed it. I'll never forget the day that I sent the message to her and I just had to get it out. Like I wanted her to know what happened when I was younger as the result as to maybe why I move or I am the way that I am. Mamas always know, of course, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those type of situations.
And when did you have that conversation with your mom as far as your sexuality?
It was, ironically, I was watching Oprah one day, right? And Oprah had a show where she was talking about guys. It was just like this. She was talking about guys who had been molested. They were married now. All the guys were married on the show. It was the one time, well, I loved Oprah, but I made sure that I saw this show. And when I saw it, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Because she had a full guest of guys who were already married, some with kids, and they had been, that happened to them when they were younger. I text my mom because my mom loves Oprah. Okay. She loves Oprah. And I text her, I was like, hey, what are you doing? She responded back, hey, I'm chilling. I was like, well, are you watching Oprah right now? And she was like, no, I recorded it. I'm going to see it later. And I said, well, when you watch it today, I don't know if you know what it's about, but that happened to me. My mom, joking, great sense of humor as me. She was like, what, you want a new car? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Playing. And I was like, no, Mom, that's not what happened. And when she later went to watch it, which was like later on that night, okay, probably about like 10 or 11, she, texted me back immediately. She called. I was laying down. Then she texted and she was like, call me now. And when we talked, the first thing she said was, why didn't you tell me? That was literally the first thing. And I didn't know why. I felt like, not saying that she wasn't going to believe me, but I knew it wasn't right. And I felt like maybe I would have gotten in trouble before. You know what I'm saying? So I personally didn't tell her. It wasn't because I couldn't talk to my mom, because again, her and our relationship is great. But it was that we were scared. I'm young, you know what I mean? So I didn't know how she was going to respond. I was worried about her going off on him. And yeah, it was a lot.
Now, did she already know that you were gay at this time when y'all had this conversation, or was this all in one conversation?
It was like a boom. Like she never, of course, her and I never, like she never came to me and was like, okay, hey, are you, you know what I'm saying, this and that. Like, she never did. It was more so on me. She did catch me in a conversation once, and she did not really care for the conversation. But again, even with that, still, it was more so me letting her know. And she is now, and like I said, I am 34 years old now, and she is now really just finding out about the whole ballroom side of me. I'll say back at my first ball, which I was probably like maybe a little younger than 30, 28, she was working my door, right? But my mom literally, moms are smart, but she would not go past that door. And if anyone, for people who don't know, of course, ballrooms, we need that one safe person who is at our door getting them coins.
Right.
Because we want that money. We want to make sure nobody's screwing us over. So my mom literally would not move from the door. Anything she needed, I of course got it to her, or one of my assistants got it for her, but she never moved. So I say this to say that she never got to actually even see my grand, because at your own ball, you don't walk it, but you do have something that's called a grand march, where you display your talent and what you do. So she never knew until this year when she saw this show. And I posted it on my Instagram. She had no idea. In fact, she was like, I never knew you could do any of this. This is so cool. She was like so excited. So, and I get it. I know y'all like this boy talking about his mom a lot, but yeah, I'm definitely.
Well, you know what? But the thing about it is that I appreciate the love that you have for your mom, the love that your mom has for you, and the fact that you're able to express it. No, you talk about your mom as much as you want to.
Right.
Because I mean, that's what we need to hear, because there's so many other stories that don't end up that way.
Right.
You know, they don't have their mother to talk to or be able to have these kind of conversations with. So I kudos to your mother, and having the love for her son. Right. Now we know about your mom. Now, was your dad in your life?
Yes, he was somewhat in my life. Me and my father's relationship was kind of like never where I wanted it to be. You got to picture a young male, and I was close to my mom and my grandma and everyone, but like I yearned my father's attention. Like that's all I wanted. My father was, I'll say, a strong black man as far as the streets goes. Okay, like the streets were so terrified of my father. He was nice, very sized, handsome man, big nose, and the room was about men and big noses. And so women loved my father. He was in prison here and there, but when he was out, we just didn't have the relationship like I wanted, because he was in the street and he was really attached to my brothers more so than me. And I don't know if that could be because I am the only son that he has by my mom. Okay, so when I spoke, and it's me, it's my mom, it's myself, my little brother who's 21, and my little sister who is 16. So it's just us, all us four. So it's very small. Now on my dad's side of the family, I feel like game was horrible. I have 4 brothers and 6 sisters. So a lot of us. Okay, so I'm the only one. My mom, got me up out and was like, I'm not dealing with this motherfucker no more. With him. So it was just a lot of factors that I always wondered why I never got the love that I wanted from him. But it is what it is. My mom never shamed them. She never damned them. She never even put them on child support. Okay, and we know in this community it's quick
to be on child support.
With child support, and my mom just didn't do that. So this is it's so many reasons why I just love that lady, man, because like she's taught me so much about how to move forward and treat other people and move, and
Now, do y'all? I know that was your relationship growing up. Now, do you and your father still have a relationship now?
Yes, we do. In fact, I just spoke with him. His birthday just passed, and it's still not. Of course, I mean, I'm 34 though now. You know what I'm saying? But it's still not. Even it's the simple things that I want to see that he'll do, and when I speak with him. And I'd be like, okay, now make sure you call, because it's very quick normally. Like my dad ended up, being on drugs, and he's just not. Remember, at first I told you he was just nice, swole, just statue guy. He's not like that anymore. And things happen, and as I try to, because I wanted to bring my dad here from South Carolina. I wanted to see if there was a way that I personally could get him back right. But it's so hard to even try to do that. I remember driving down to Anderson purposely just to get him and just to have him come for a weekend to try it out, to see. I tried to get some things lined up for him as far as like painting, just some work. And he like disappeared. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was, man, I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, I want better now and older, and it's still not what I want from him. So we talked, like I said, we just talked on his birthday, but it's just not like he knows, what's going on now, of course, with the show and everything. He's, I'm proud of you, but it's just not like that should be how I would like for it to be.
So let's talk about your high school years.
No. Okay. Let's go. This is where it gets interesting, y'all.
So your high school years in
Atlanta.
You went to high school in Atlanta?
Yeah, I was here. My mom had already got me here in middle school. So
gotcha.
Yeah, she got me the hell away from Anderson because again, she did not. It just, a lot of my family members are either cousins, the ones I grew up with, they're either in prison Okay, let's start there, or they're on the, they're getting it how they need to get it. And that's what y'all know. That's what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? By all means, do it. But my mom had a different vision for us. And she got me, and she felt like, because that could have happened here too. And it could have happened anywhere. Mm-hmm. But she wanted me to move here. We moved here. Beautiful home out in Lithonia. And high school. Let's go.
So now you're in, so you're in Atlanta. So you're 34. So it's the 90s. Oh, no.
Lord. God, no, it's like 2000-ish,
I know I'm crazy because I graduated in 99, so it's in the 2000s.
Right.
So we're in the 2000s.
So we're in the 2000s, and it's Atlanta High School. Okay?
Right, which that's what is that experience? Because now you're knowing who you are. You're kind of comfortable in you're comfortable in your space of who you are.
In my own little space, but still, still mentally that gay and bi is some people don't even think about. Isn't it crazy? Some people don't even think bisexual exists. They're like, no, you're gay. You're sleeping with a man, you're gay. Are you one of those people? Oh my God, that is so. We're gonna get back to that. It's totally not true, Derek. And I want to know your views. I want to know why you think that too. But that is totally not true to me, of course. So high school in Atlanta, and I have a friend. His name is Daryl Biggs. He's still my friend to this day. Daryl was doing phenomenal. Shout out to you, Daryl. He just purchased his first home. He's gonna be excited when he finds out that I mentioned his name. But Daryl was my comfortable friend, but kept my business private. Him and Martez, and you may have known Martez. Rest in peace, Martez. Martez recently committed suicide 2 years ago. Dubose. I don't know if you know him. He was very popular around here in the Atlanta area.
I probably know if I see him.
Great guy. He was my drum major. I was in the band. But Daryl Biggs was my first friend who was cool as hell. All the girls loved him, but he was flamboyant as hell and just owned it, didn't care. So he was my first go-to friend, and he was the one that basically, clocked me and knew, like it was something in him that he knew. And I felt comfortable talking to Daryl. Like, he was like my escape. You got to get it. Like, it's the one friend that knows me. You know what I mean? And Daryl didn't get picked on because everyone liked him. But if we were to be out or something were to happen or someone would try to say something, I would immediately try to jump on. I'd be like, bro, let that man, you know what I'm saying? You know how I let him be. Well, let that man live his life. Let that man be who he is. You know what I'm saying? Versus now, when I hear shit like this, which this just happened in the barbershop with me the other day, I'll speak up. I'll say something off the gate. And luckily, it hasn't went into a violent or a back and forth thing. But I'm trying to remind guys who are just not intelligent enough to understand that, bro, we here too. I'm in your strip club too. I like to hang out over there too. You know what I'm saying? So while what does who you sleep with have to do with a person? Who I lay in my bed with makes what I eat don't make me shit. You know how it goes. Right. So of course, when it comes to things like that, you have, they probably gay too. I don't care what you are, what you do. If it's you, be who you are. But what you're not going to do is talk about basically myself and talk about people who I grin and kick it with. And shame on me for not protecting and standing up or saying anything for all the years that I did. You know what I mean? And but now I would never let anyone know.
Well, but that's also a process you have to learn.
You do.
I think it's because
right.
Yeah, and then for you, I'm sure, like you said, you were comfortable in your space, but it took you years originally to be comfortable, 100% comfortable, and standing your own truth.
That's why I stated intelligent enough. You get it? Because I'm not even trying to really down those people, because I don't know what they have against bi or gay people. It could be the same thing that happened with me when they were younger. It could be someone that's connected to them that might be gay, or it just could be something where it could come from a place of hurt that they're trying to, talk about how we move and how we live, but it shouldn't be any of that. None of that.
From the Black community in general,
right?
Being gay is just they'd rather you be a murderer than be gay.
Isn't it crazy?
They'd rather you be but that's what we were taught. That's what they were taught. So they don't. They just don't think they just don't think the gay people are like we're just immoral and unjust people. You know. So they just don't.
Better wake up.
That's why I'm having these conversations to help people wake up and understand that it's more than that than what you were taught in church.
Right. I'm listening, Derek. My phone died. I'm grabbing a charger because I want as much people. The feedback that we're getting from the live is great.
Go ahead. But thank you guys for popping in and having this conversation with us. Like I said, like we were just talking. You know, unfortunately, in the black community, they just don't allow people to grow and be who they are. You know, they have this situation already forced upon them of what a black man should be, and you can't be a black man and gay. You know.
Yeah, according to some of those, but
according to some of those,
yeah,
it's so funny because I posted something on my Instagram and I said I'm a black gay man, and somebody was just like, well, why you have to put the gay in there? Why can't you be a black man? I said, well, because I have no choice but to be black. Okay. Like that, when you see me, you know I'm black. Right. I was like, before y'all start calling me a man, y'all was calling me gay. Right. You know, so the thing is, let me make y'all sure understand I'm a black gay man and standing my truth. That's why I say gay first, because when you see me out, you want to call me gay first before you call me anything else. So that's why I had to make sure that's why I made sure I put that there to make sure people understand this is what it is. Right. You know. Right. So you had your friend in high school that was your safe space.
Safe space. He was the guy who got me out in the clubs. He was the guy. That's what I'm about to
ask you. Did he introduce you to the life?
And I'm about to crack a joke, and I know you're gonna laugh. He introduced me to the original Thug Out Tuesdays at Trax.
At Trax on Marietta Street.
What? So here I am, 15 at the time. This was
you was in the streets young.
Yeah, this is before I got shipped back to Carolina, so we'll get back into that too. This was around I was I know I was not supposed to be in there, okay, but I was, and that line alone. See, I wasn't nervous or fearful, at least the first time, because I was that young. Daryl was 17. I was more like, damn, all these dudes out here looking like this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still, Derek, wrapped into, gay being like a type. You know what I'm saying? Or the gay guy still being overly, feminine or moving or just, feminine traits. But baby, let me tell y'all something. When I got in that line and I saw all of that and these older people, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? So that he was my safe place, and that was when I first experienced the clubs in Atlanta. And again, I should not be nowhere in this club, okay? I should be asleep. Let's talk about that. But I was out, just owning who I am.
So now you're in high school. You're living your life. Now, did you experiment in high school?
Yes, that's when it first happened. That's when I first willingly wanted it to happen.
Okay, when you was in high school.
In high school, yep. I willingly wanted it to happen. Daryl was, like I said again, the guy who I would, tell him about people in school who I thought maybe were attractive, or I think so and so looks good, or so and so this, so and so that, and we wouldn't know though. These would be guys who I personally didn't know. Right. I was attracted to a masculine type of guy as well. So my first experience with a guy willingly was when I was in high school. Yeah.
Okay. So now you go through high school. So did you graduate high school in Atlanta?
I graduated in Augusta. I got shipped to a military school. I was a little routed in high school, a little just wild. So my mom was like, oh, okay, you out here cutting the hell up. There was a military school called YCA, and it was down in Augusta. So that's exactly where I graduated from, military school. Yep.
Now, how was that experience in military school, considering it was more a structured place?
It was a lot of fine guys. Let's start there. Let's start there. And we had a camp for females too. Not so many, to me, of course, overly beautiful in my eye women, but there were beautiful women in military school as well. But of course, it's all guy school. I'm in high school, and in my head, mentally, I'm like, what are the guys going to be like? Or how is this going to be? Or are they going to, figure out, or know my sexuality? But at that moment, I knew how to put a mask on so good that never happened. And no one never knew that I was even attracted to guys.
Now let's talk about that mask. Now, you put that mask on when you were in military school, right?
Correct.
Then when did you take that mask off?
I'm taking my mask off now. How about that? Like, the mask is literally really just like speaking with you like this freely, Derek. It feels amazing. It's good because even with being in the ballroom scene as an adult male, I still had people who had no clue. Like, I really knew, I knew where to post certain stuff. I know it may sound crazy, but this is literally how I was living. I knew where to post certain stuff, or I had 2 Facebook pages where I would literally block my whole family in South Carolina on my Lashawn Dawson page. But my one cousin, who him and I, of course, know what's going on, and he was on there. And it's because he actually lives through me, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I literally am now finally free because ironically, there are even people within our own community who look down on the ballroom scene, and they're thinking like you're an extra type of gay or something because you're in the scene. So I'm still masking, you know what I'm saying, that I am who I am, a masculine male, of course, and this is just naturally how I move and act. But when it does come time, it's like an act. It's like a character, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you do, and if y'all don't know about the scene, you win money for your talent. So it was just something. For me, it was an escape because there were so many people within the community within that bar community that were, of course, like me. So it was easy to be me. It was easy to kick it with all these different guys and went transgenders because they were just themselves. However, you have people who are not in that barroom scene, who are just regular guys, or they may have some sexual attraction to guys, and then that's just that. You know what I mean? Either they're back with their girls and it's nothing, or they're either just, living that, I just like to mess around type of life, but you too gay for me, sir. You sound stupid.
Well, I'll talk that. So let me talk about that statement. Too gay for me. Okay. And I would say, like I said, for you, you are quintessentially what every butch queen wants to be with, but for the most part. So I would say, and I'm like, okay, but I'll tell you, posted one video. Okay. And I had to check myself when I told you about this. You posted a video of you in the ballroom doing what category do you do?
I walk legendary performance, and that legendary performance stems from my original category, which was realness to realness with a twist. And for the people, of course, who are watching us who don't necessarily.
Break down the ball. So let's break down the ballroom terminology. So I want
to know what's going on. Okay?
Right, so you know what we're talking about.
So realness is a category within the ballroom community where you're presented as your real self and you can't be clocked. They have that for guys such as myself. It's a man. You're going to present yourself in front of a panel of people who basically will judge if you look clockable or not, or if you look like you're gay or mess with the same gender sex. They also have that same category for trans women and, the transgenders, and they're supposed to be beautiful women who you can never tell that were identified or born as men. And that's realness. Okay. And I mastered that, you know what I'm saying? But, so I wanted to vogue. I had friends who danced, they vogue, and I was just the homie that was always kicking it at first, just watching them and looking at these gay guys just run around the living room, just voguing and dipping and some slamming their back on the grounds, as we all would know. And me, comical as paranormal, I would always be like, I can do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is literally how I started voguing, Derek. It was not like I wanted to dance when I was younger because I always wanted to act. So dancing wasn't really my thing. However, I was like, I can do this. And I literally started playing around voguing with my friends in the house. We're going to fast forward. So now, as I stated on the show, I'm definitely the one to be. I've mastered it over the years and I know how to. So this is what we call voguing now, to such where you're a master that I walk legendary performance. And that is the best of the best in the category.
Right. So now, with that being said, like I said, I had to check myself. I was going to follow you because I was like, oh, Jesus. I was like, oh, my God, what is this big ass man doing? I don't want to see this shit like that. But then I had to check myself to be like, well, wait a minute. Why am I feeling like this? Why?
You know why? Because maybe, and let's take it back to, and this was after you saw me at the airport, right?
Yeah. You just recently posted, but it was
like, of course it was.
It was like the middle of last year. It was recently.
And you know why, Derek? And I hope you receive this and feel this.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, it's because when you did, like you say, saw me at the airport, and you're attracted to men, guys, yourself, as far as like, you know, that intimacy or that sexuality aspect. So at that moment, you were looking and you probably like, damn, who was that tall? But
I did say that. That's what I did say.
Right. Thank you. And then now you see me now voguing and doing this, and you know what? That probably makes me think why you think that gay is just gay too. And I'll get back to that. And there's no bi. Now you see me voguing, and you probably like, what? Let me unfollow this queen or something like that's what you were probably thinking. I'm not sure. You could tell me, but
no. That's what I'm saying. No, that is what I was thinking, but I had to check myself on that.
Really?
I had to check myself on that because at the end of the day, in this black gay world of hierarchy,
right?
You know, there is. That you can't be both,
right?
You're gonna be masculine, and the thing is, and if that's the case, I need you to play that all the time. And if you're gonna do that gay shit, you do that gay shit over there on your own time, but not in front of me.
Right? You know, you don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. You know, and that
I've dated people like that. I have, So
and it's not right, and it shouldn't be. A person should be able to be their full authentic self.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you know, at all times.
And that's exactly where I am now. Trust me, you are not alone, sir. There are thousands of people who think that. I even had a guy I was dating once that was definitely just like, you got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're my man, you're my top. Basically, you got, come on now, y'all know the terminology out there. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, you my top and you out here doing this? Done. Nothing for you. And I had really liked Shorty. That was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, I didn't personally know how to vocally express who I was to him. It was just like, okay, well, shit, if that's what you think, then it's cool. In that same breath, I know females, though, who I recently might have been drinking with, not a lot here, but there's definitely a handful who I might have been drinking with. And not only do I tell them, because I'm very upfront with females about that. That is the one thing that fellas you should do out here. Because women are going to have the option to say yes or no. And we should give them that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really should, guys who are attracted to both, give them that option to say yes or no. So and then there's not even I don't wait to tell them. I'll immediately, as we're talking, or I know that they're into me and I feel it, I'll slide. Normally I try to do it in a comedy way because jokes or comedy's just good for the soul. And I try to let them know, but they don't decline as you may think, as maybe they would have done in yesteryear or years in the past. They don't. In fact, some are more in now. They're like, what? Are you serious? What you be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to know, and they think that the scene is so cool, and that's why you have categories in the ballroom scene for women now. And a lot of those women, I'm about to mention they got vogue and sexy. Thanks. Yeah, they do. They love that. So I don't know if I just went all around, but
no. You did. No, you didn't. That's why I like these, because there's really no format. We're having a conversation about just things.
Okay.
But it's happening to be the conversation all about you.
Right.
I'm gonna just jump to our conversation we want to get into when we talked about being about bisexuality. Let's go. So this is just my thought. This is my theory.
Yes, let me hear it.
When it comes down to the word bisexual, meaning the person that finds two sexes attractive or have sex with both the sexes, yes, by the literal word of bisexuality, yes, it does exist. Okay. What I disagree with as far as bisexuality is that when you really talk to somebody that says they're bisexual, and you say, hey, if it comes when it's time to settle down, be with, could you marry a man? Could you marry a woman? They always have a person they would rather be with. And you know what I'm saying? So I just feel that, and to me, it just diminishes homosexuality and heterosexuality to just sex. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if we're just talking about just a person having sex with a man and a woman, yes, there are bisexuals out there. But when I look at bisexuality, I'm looking at somebody saying, you know what? I really don't know who I can fall in love with. I really don't know who I can be with for the rest of my life. I don't really know who I will marry. But I have yet to find that person to say that to me. I've always found people like, if it's a bisexual man,
you feel like that they say, not to cut you off, they like one more than the other?
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is that when I say a bisexual man, and I say, hey, are you like, would you marry a man? Oh, hell no, I'll never be with no man like that. I will always be with a woman. So the thing is that, but the thing about it is this, Lashawn, I don't feel that your sexual experiences determine your sexuality, right? I'm a gay man. Right. If I don't have sex with a woman, I'm not bisexual. I just have sex with a woman one day.
Right.
I'm still a gay man. And I feel the same way for a straight man. A straight man can be a straight man that has sex with a man, but he still be the woman. He just has sex with a man. That doesn't make him a gay man. Because with being gay and straight is about more than just sex. It's about the feeling. It's about so I haven't met a person, that's just me. I haven't met a person that said they genuinely have feelings for both sexes. They genuinely can see themselves being with either sex. I haven't met that person.
You've met me.
Okay, well, that's why that's why these conversations are here.
Yep, you've met me. I'm equal. Like there's countless of females who I've literally right now to this day, who I still I have feelings for. One chick, I think that she and also with this being said, and I'm really trying to get it out there, because a lot of women don't like that. They're like, oh, you dipping and you dabbing, but ma'am, this is life. This is a part of the life. So I'm saying that to that ma'am that thinks that it's okay, and you need to know, but it happens, because my mental, if I'm hurting my girl's feelings, like I don't want to do that. I don't want my shorty to feel bad. Like, I'm down. I mentally, just as I'm fucking her, I'm loving her the same way. Nah, honestly. And then I'm also attracted to, of course, transgender men. And those are who were born, of course, women, but they live their life as a man. I think they are so fucking fine. Okay. They are, right?
Yeah.
They are fine. Someone will try to challenge me with that and, go into sexual details and all this and that, but they're men. And when we should respect them as men. Like transgender women, we respect them as transgender women. It's that serious. It's so easy just to simply respect them. I personally am all down. I can see a chick now, of course, she walked past me, and if she bad, she bad. 9 out of 10, I may even try to shoot my shot before my straight homie. That's even funnier about it. I have a few strong homies who are straight, and they know that I'm gonna be the one that's live. They know that I'm gonna be the one like, boy, you better go say something to her ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I do, quit. And yeah, so I say all this to say is you have met someone, because I am that person. And I get it, though. There are people who just say, oh, I just want to go fuck this chick just because the sexual pleasure. But my heart is open to those women that if you're going to love me and treat me right, guess what? It's on.
Now, if you're in a relationship with a woman, do you is that do you not mess with men at all? Or
no, I will not. Hell no, I will not. And this is probably going to get real crazy right now, but I will not unless this lady sexually wants that. Like if she sexually feels like she may want to threesome, I know you're probably like, what the hell? But it happens. It really happens. Just like guys and our homies, like we two dudes want to smash a chick. There are chicks, believe it or not, who, like I said earlier, they want to see that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They really do, y'all. So yeah.
So I'm just gonna answer back to this, but no. So Kevin, I don't have I don't think I have a lot of judgmental issues. I think that we all have. We all have these same concerns.
Right.
It's just that for me, I don't mind saying them out loud. I don't mind also having a conversation with it. Instead of I'm not arguing with Lashawn about it. We just said this is how I feel. He explained to me how I feel. Now I met somebody. It just I never met somebody that had to say that. So
and to that person, of course, they are entitled to their own opinion. And it's sad that they would think that like it's an internal issue that I have. It's sad that you don't think, to me, that someone can really.
Well, you're talking about me. They say I got an internal issue. That's why I'm single. Because I'm too judgy. They're talking about me.
Oh, I thought you said that's why I'm single or something.
They talk about me. But it's okay.
That was still like a little out of pocket to me, maybe. But
I think that the problem with gay people in general, but definitely in the Black gay community, is that we try to force ourselves in heteronormal situations.
Right.
Meaning, for me, I'm not. People, I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm not as feminine as most men can be.
Right.
But I'm also not the most masculine.
Right.
So for me, because we've been.
But I get that. I can jump into that with you. I feel that. I get that. Go ahead.
But trying to live a heteronormal lifestyle, for me, I have to be with a man.
Got you.
I couldn't see myself being with somebody more feminine than me. Because it's like, hell, I mean, shit, if you more feminine than me, you damn near a woman.
I'm trying to tell you.
But I think that we have to break the thought process of living a heteronormal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being two men dating, trying to have a man and woman relationship.
Right.
Instead of having a man and man relationship. And it's okay if one may be one day he might be more masculine, one day he might be more feminine, one day, the roles reverse and move around. But I think that for us, we can't think that far into a space because we're so stuck in like, you got to be the man. If you're my top, you got to be my top at all times, and you can't have no other thing,
right?
And no moment. So I think that's where we got to get ourselves out of that space. But with all those pressures that we put on Black men in the gay community, did you find yourself trying to be harder, trying to be more manlier, did you find yourself in that space trying to be?
It wasn't that I necessarily tried to do it, because again, it's just how I normally move. But at first I would definitely try to, like I told you before, I would even defend people. You know what I mean? I would try to like steer away from those even type of conversations, or I would not put myself in a position where sexuality would come up. If you get it, because I knew who I was at this moment. Where I'm grown now, I know what the fuck I got going on, but I'm also still ashamed to verbally state who I am. So I wasn't necessarily trying to be harder, and it also has to go with your career. And me knowing what I wanted to do, I just felt like I was always just gonna be, it was just gonna be no, door slam. Like I really did. And it took, honestly, successful people such as yourself, such as Miss Lauren, such as Billy. It's like I'm seeing all these successful people, and I'm like, they are themselves. They are organic. They are who the fuck they are. You know what I mean? But you know what? Also, even still seeing you guys, I felt like you were accepted because of you not being and looking the way that I am.
Yeah, people. What I've learned, what I've learned is that people, especially Black women, are not ready to see a man on television that they can be attracted to be openly gay.
Yeah, they're not. They are not. They are not. Some of them aren't. And I'll say a majority of them aren't. They're like, what the hell? Like, why? What is he? They just don't get it. And it's because of the upbringing. I'll tell you that. It's normally because of the upbringing, but that shit has to stop, yo. You know what I'm saying? Whether you deal with it or not. If you don't want to deal with it, then don't. But as far as like out here trying to like, you know, teach your youth now and their kids that this is wrong, look at the fuck what is going on in the world right now. Okay, look literally what we got going on, all this hate, and it doesn't necessarily hit some, if it even hits them then, until it's home. You gotta teach yourself and our youth, and I know I'm yelling right now, but this, you know what I'm saying, like it's fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? You have to teach yourself and your youth to love everybody. And if because who kids ask you, kids and old people are the most honest people that we know. Okay, so it could be a little kid that will come to you, see you, and be like, "Mama, why are you dressed like that?" And there will be some ignorant woman that will be like, "Oh, baby, don't look," or "Oh, he gay," or just something stupid. And I'm like, "Man, are you serious? Are you fucking serious right now? You're now teaching this young kid now thinks that you are not what's right or just something, and that is wrong. That's so fucking wrong. Y'all better stop that. That is wrong. For real."
No, I believe me, I understand. So now you are in when did you enter into the ballroom scene?
Man, I entered the ballroom scene when I was about 18, I'll say 17, 18 years old. I entered the ballroom scene, and I got in the scene because, of course, like I say, this is now I'm back. I left Georgia to go to military school, and I went back to South Carolina. And when I came back to Atlanta, I am now meeting different, still Daryl, same old Daryl. Daryl do not go nowhere, okay? Daryl's now graduated from Southwest DeKalb. He is in his 20s. He is, you know, Daryl's cool. He's out here living it. So he knows a variety of different people. And I met Maurice Ebony, Lattell Ebony, and rest in peace, Rashad. I met those three individuals at Club 708. We used to have a club 708, and I met them there. And they were like, "You want to be an Ebony?" And I'm like, "What the hell? Like, what you talking about?" Like, I don't know what they was like. "You're going to be an Ebony." And I also met London at the time, who was, you know, one. I'm sure London was cool with all that, but London was always very intelligent woman. London is so intelligent. I met London at the time, and London was like, saw me. I remember turning the corner, and she was like, "Are you in the scene? What's your name? I want you to be in the SCADA." And I'm like, "What the hell are these people talking about?" And then, like, really, like, I'm like, "What are y'all talking about?" Like, you don't want balls, you don't know what balls are? And I'm like, "No." So I exchanged information with the Ebonies at the time, because London was a little dramatic for me at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I love you, London. Shout out to you, London. London's my cancer sis as well. London's birthday is coming up. So I met Maurice and Rashad and all of them, and I started hanging with them. They started telling me what the scene was, and we're going to take you to a ball, and that's how I got into the scene.
Now, considering, like you said, you went to the ball walking realness. Now let's just talk about just the gay scene in general. Okay. With someone like you, for the most part, is being like fetishized. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like that's what people want. That's what people like. You give what everybody wants. So did you find it hard dating or trying to find genuine people, or just somebody really want to get to know you and not just have sex with you through this whole process?
Well, here's the thing. It might have not even been even then. It might have been my mind as well. I'm young. You have to remember the childhood for me with being, you know, no one really, my family at least, and even friends and, you know, school, or I'm acting gay, I'm moving gay, or I'm just not right. So being someone that felt so rejected when I was younger. Now I'm in this scene where like you said, everyone, the majority of everyone, different ages, younger and older, are now like, damn, who is that? Or who is this? Who la la la? Like, it was easy for someone to want to, of course, have sex or get to know me, or hey, what's up? Or you to trade, that terminology. And then guys, people who are out there don't know what the terminology trade is. It's allegedly someone who is
allegedly.
It's allegedly someone who is off the gate supposed to be a top, supposed to be the giver, and he's supposed to be not clockable. He's either supposed to have a girlfriend and all this crazy shit.
Not supposed to be in the gay scene.
Not even supposed to be in the scene, period. At all. So coming from someone who's like, oh yeah, this is Dawson, trade dude, he Ebony, you know what I'm saying? Like the word spread it like fire. And within the ballroom community, that shit goes from Atlanta to New York to shit. Like you're now someone who everyone knows you within seconds. And we were still underground though. And ballroom, of course, now recently within the last years has been getting so much exposure, but we were underground. So I say, was it hard for me to actually, find someone? No, to really want to know me, I would probably say, yeah, maybe, because I was, like you just said, I was just, I want that nigga to fuck, or we want to have sex with him. Like, this is it. So I go through that now. What are you talking about? So, you know what I'm saying? So I just know how to handle it differently than I did when I was, of course, coming into the scene.
So how do you feel that ballroom has helped you grow as a person?
Ballroom is exactly why we're having this interview right now. Ballroom is exactly why I am smiling how I'm smiling. Ballroom is exactly why I'm able to just go outside and just not have a worry in the world, speak to a girl with ease. Because, like, if you really want to know the how I'm getting down or how I'm moving, and you want to see it, type it in, and it's on YouTube, and it's my name, and it's gonna immediately pop up. So I am thankful for the scene. I am thankful for me being even in the scene, because the scene can be a hard place too. Okay, the scene can build you up also to break you down when it comes to these categories. You could be, thanks Mariah, you could be so hot 1 second, and it's almost like getting canceled nowadays. It's so fast to get canceled. But yeah, if you're not like mentally right in the scene and moving, I guess, more chill, they will cancel your ass. You know what I mean? So the thing I can say though, it definitely it gave me a creative mind space. You know what I mean? It helped me with kind of, like I said, I love to make people laugh. Oh my God, I just get such a joy off that. So it was just so much that I did definitely learn through the scene. I learned to love even harder through the scene, because as some people try to shame, guys who are less masculine, I was a guy who, when I first saw female figures, I was like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Or there were certain ones who weren't as glamorous and catchy to the eye that I just thought was just freaking crazy and creepy. It took me to be in this scene to understand that, baby, like you said, we all bleed the same color. That's who that woman wants to be, and that's who she is. So the thing taught me to love, yo. So, and I'm here trying to teach all these other motherfuckers, like, y'all need to love, because if it's not you, it's someone that's definitely connected to you, because it's that natural. It's that it is.
So, but now, did you ever think that ballroom will bring you to the place?
No. No. Hell no. My ex, which is literally, and I can say this with so much ease now, it's someone that I know that is like my best friend. We went through the most, in and out, horrible, but it's someone that I love dearly, and I can see myself, I know that I'm going to love this person as long as I am here breathing. Me and him laughed and talked about this, and he said, like, you would have never thought this, and he, out of all people, knew that we're both shocked that this is what's causing the exposure. This is just, and I'm not saying that I necessarily wanted, exposure, but I always wanted this story to be told, but I was afraid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie. Or I just thought that it was just immediately gonna be a slap in the face to everything. You know what I'm saying? So I hid who the hell I was.
Mm-hmm. So now you are on a show.
Yes.
You are on Legendary as one of the contestants in this ballroom competition.
Yes.
So now you are putting everything that you are and who you are is like being put out. Be a judge like you said, be a judge in the ballroom is one thing, but now you're being put out to be judged by the world.
And you know what's crazy about this? Before someone can even want to ask this question, it is so funny how time and like I tell you, God do not play. That man upstairs do not play, right? Because before this show, like before I was even like casted for this show, at that moment in 2018, I was still starting to, of course, open. This is when like I told you, it was the quickness with me telling girls that like, oh yeah, sure, I fuck around, or hey, I'm gonna try. It depends on the lady, how I would approach them. You know what I'm saying? But it's so funny that as that was going on, this show ended up coming to me. So I say that to say to someone that would be like, oh, well, if it wasn't for the show, you wouldn't be doing this or you wouldn't be saying, no, the show helped me be able to get the word out to you guys. Because to me, I was already ready and I was here wanting and people to know that we are here. There are so many masculine men. Some may be more should like acting than me, but they are out here and they do like same sex or they like both. This show just helped it reach a mass of people at one time. So yeah, so let's keep going about Legendary.
So now you're on Legendary, and now, so were you nervous about putting this out to the public like this?
The first voguing clip that I posted on my Instagram story, I literally sat in my living room with my gay parent, my mother, and her and I were sitting here as well as my brothers, Marcus and Robert. And I was literally nervous still. I know you're going to be like, what? I was still nervous about myself posting this link, this clip to myself. Why was I nervous? Because even though the show is out, even though that people know, or there are still people who may not, if you're not attracted to that or you're not like looking for that, you're not going to see it or you're not going to know if you guys are following me. So it was still, I'm now the creator of my own content on my page. So I'm now putting this out there. So not only do you see me, but you see me in a whole goddamn different light. So I was somewhat nervous, and what confirmed, as I told you, and I can't wait to go back and listen to your show about religion, because that man does not play. I got an inbox from someone, a young man who lives in Colombia. Okay, not Colombia, South Carolina, but he's like over in Colombia, and like this guy wrote a long message, basically was telling me, I love you on Legendary. Like, thank you for your backstory. Like literally, and he said so much other stuff as far as like with him and his father as well. And I saw fast my cancer side. I literally sat in his living room and almost teared up. And that at that very moment, my thumb said, and I posted it. I had already wrote the caption. I was still like, nah, I'm gonna wait, or nah, la, 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 or nah, I'm just gonna let them know. If it's me, go in all the way. Why the fuck am I like, no. You know what it was? Because I was still thinking that there could be like that one director that saw me, and people watch you before they sometimes approach you or sometimes even come to you. So I'm still thinking that there's going to be that one person that may love everything about my page, love my look, love the comedy skills, love everything about it. But now that they see this, that could be that one. And that's like, oh, hell no. Oh God, no! Unfollow, block. Who's this queen? We're not.
But you know that work both ways though.
Okay.
Meaning, it's that one person that may see it and unfollow you, but it's that one person that may say, "This is the guy we've been looking for."
Well, gotcha.
It works both ways. Right. So believe me, because I had to feel like I had to understand that situation too for myself when it came down to this, like. Believe it or not, even still, when I go on interviews or I go on auditions or I go to do stuff, I'm still not gay enough, even with everything, and it's just, so it's never when you thinking that believe me, when you think that somebody, and when you're thinking the wrong thing, it's always a right thing. So
Right.
somebody might looked at it and said, "Oh, fuck that, fuck him, not unfollow." But if somebody else looked at it and said, "Damn, this is what we've been looking for the whole time." This
And
is
you know
what
what this goes, and you know what this goes to for you and I. What I can say about that is that it ultimately, in a sentence, that goes for what's for you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can't even worry. You can't even worry about it.
You can't. You cannot. You cannot worry about it. You cannot.
So,
yeah, you can't.
Out of this whole process, what would you say that you have learned?
Out of this whole process, I've learned that it is most definitely okay to be you. Like, and I know it's something so simple, and you're probably like, well, damn, you should have been you, but we're not. And this doesn't even have to do with like sexuality right now, okay? This could just be you acting like you don't like a certain brand of clothing or something, and you hiding it from everybody. Bitch, if you know you like it, you like it. Be you, because you're only playing yourself. Like, you can only imagine. When I tell you I feel so good, my space is so good, Derek, man, and I mean that. Like, I'm telling you, I mean that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just always a silence of me, or it was always some type of like thing where I was really just like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to get too close to this person because, oh, now I got to worry about telling them my fucking around. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, God. You know what I'm saying? I don't go through any of that. And I lay down, I say them prayers, and I go to sleep at peace. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. That's what matters. And my mom, she's down, she's loving it, and that makes it even better. You know what I'm saying? Because if she wasn't, I'm still going to be me. But it's nothing like having that goddamn support system from my mother. Nothing.
If you could look back to the 8-year-old Lashawn, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to tell the person who was messing around with me that you didn't know what the fuck you was doing. No, trying to spread light to it, of course. Trying to spread light to it. I would just tell that 8-year-old boy that it is okay. I would tell that 8-year-old boy that you can start trying to act. I loved Chris Tucker and Will Smith when I was young. Like, literally watched Bad Boys, Friday. Like, I loved them, but I was also told by one of my cousins when I was standing in front of the TV and like just be so hyped watching them, you can't be no actor. You gay, nigga. We know you gay. Like, you gay. Like, you ain't gonna, like, literally telling me this, and I would have to just say back to them, "Hey, gay." You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I just knew that someone was touching me inappropriately, but I didn't really get the. You know what I'm saying? You gay. You ain't gonna be this. You ain't gonna be that. So that shit, when that some stuff is planted in your head, it's planted in your head. Just that simple, yo.
So a skill.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I said I guess I would just tell that 8-year-old boy, like, jokingly about him, but I would just tell the 8-year-old boy to go after what you want to do, because a lot of this stuff held me back, Derek. Like, a lot of this stuff, being my own self, that's literally what you call holding your own self back. Literally, the nerve of me.
Yeah, you at 34, you just not getting out your head, huh?
Getting that out of my head at 30.
Well, I'm talking about getting yourself out your head.
Oh yeah, exactly. I am. Even with radio, do you know how much I would always hear like, "Oh, your voice," or "Oh, you should get in radio." And I love speaking with people. I love talking, but I always knew. And in Atlanta, like, shit spreads. Okay, when you're in the industry in Atlanta, I'm thinking, man, they gonna hear my voice. Yeah, it's nice, but oh, you gay. Oh, we don't want you on our radio station. Or we don't want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I never even really tried to take the steps as I should, or I would take a step and then just stop. Give me good feedback, and then just be like, it ain't gonna happen.
But I hope right now you're going full train ahead right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure certain things are still gonna be shut. Like, doors will still be shut, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, guess what? It's about me now. It's about how I'm moving. I'm feeling good, and again, what's for me will be for me regardless. So, and that's if because it's hard. In this industry, of course, we all know to continue to, it's hard for actors, period. You know what I mean? You got to be get out there. You got to show your talent. You got to be on it. So this is whatever I decide to even end up doing, whether it's me being back in property, whatever it is, I know that weight is thrown off my goddamn back. And more so, I know that this story, it feels so good to know that there are other people that older than me. Okay. We're saying at 34, but you got guys older than me out here married or been married, and they are literally still just afraid to be themselves. They're like watching this video right now, like, wow, Lord, this is crazy, or I should have, or maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Because what I've learned through having these conversations with a lot of people is that a lot of there's you got to think you are a very rare person to see in public talking about being gay. Right. So a lot of those men didn't have a person. They thought you got to think when we were growing up, all we had was RuPaul, and then we had the Keenan, but you had the two guys from A Living Color.
Oh, they were like.
Yeah,
I can imagine how people love them, right?
Right. So the thing is that so that's all that. So there really wasn't a representation of a masculine gay man. Right. So the thing is that so when you're growing up, you'll say, well, if I'm gay. So the thing about it is that they look at it and say, well, I know I'm gay, I know like men, but I'm not like that. Right. So if I'm not like that means I can't be gay. So that means I gotta be over here.
The title of this, and I'm gonna cut you off, where it's gay like me. Do you know I love that? Like, well, Derek, I think that is just genius of you, because there are so many different type of gays, like there really are, and that is so I wanted to tell you that, like, that's fucking genius.
Well, thank you. And the reason, like I said, the reason I did is because you know when you finally met somebody, and you was like when you got to the ballroom, you saw a masculine gay man, you was like, damn, you gay like me. Right. Like, because you thought you was the only one until you saw somebody else. You was like, oh shit, you gay like me. I didn't know that. So that's why I came up with that.
I love it. I watched a few other interviews that you did, Marquise, Jamel, and them, and I just love it. I'm like, thank you. This is dope.
Now, if you go from a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being the worst, 100 being the best, when you say I love Lashawn, where do you fall at?
Oh, I'm like at 115. Yeah, I'm up there. I'm loving me, okay? I'm like at 115, man, for real, dog.
Now that's now as and your woke self, right? Who you are now. Right. If I would have asked you that question 5 years ago, what would you have said?
I wasn't happy. Or happiness came in moments, if that makes sense. Like it had to be something going on, or I always had to, if I was around and I was happy, it was still that I would still kind of like, even while it was always about mannerism to me. Because like, again, that's how I was. So I would have to like, maybe talk a certain way around certain people because they would be like, fuck is you so proper? Why the fuck is you gay? Like immediately. And this would be like my hood homies or people from the hood or the friends, you know what I'm saying? They would just be like, something ain't right with bro. Now it is what it is. And like I said, people, because you have people in the hood who, like I said, are, that can be feminine, right? But they can be accepted because they, of course, are who they are. They be like, oh yeah, that's my gay cousin Lil Mo or something like that. Then I'm coming around, and then it's just a whole damn 2-hour, 3-hour conversation. Messing with dudes in Atlanta or something crazy, you know what I'm saying, 5 years ago, and that would bother me, you know what I'm saying? But now it is what it is because, again, this is me. So I am those people that are weeding out 4%. Hold on. Those people that don't care or, they may think something is wrong. They don't need to be in my life. And that is fine. That is fine. That is so fine. So, Robert, how do you... I'm listening to you, Derek.
No. Well, I just want to tell you, well, Sean, I want to say thank you for one, being honest, being open, and sharing your story with us because, like I said, you hit me early. I wasn't expecting that early on in the conversation. But I want to appreciate your honesty. And like you said, this conversation is going to help somebody else. It's going to help a younger person or older person to understand that you can be these things and still be a man and still be masculine and still be, and you could be bisexual.
You can. See, look at you. Yeah. Yeah. You really can. And see, it's even more when it comes to that. There was a chick, her name Cherie. It's even more rewarding to my girl because like she would stand there with me strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my man, this is my guy. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. Like, I love, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there with a badass chick, a beautiful woman. And there are guys, literally, you know how you got, we don't play. We gonna holler. If we think something going on, we gonna get away to holler. But to know that that woman knows me in my full self and she's still standing, she 10 toes down. Like, so just shout out to all my beautiful women who are definitely, comfortable with dating a guy who that they may know that's dealing around with both guys, like, because that could be a lot to them too. But at the end of the day, as long as we got love and we got honesty, we're gonna make everything work, yo.
So I'm about to be a little bit messy and nosy right now. Because I've been reading through these comments. So are you dating now?
I am involved right now. Yes, I am.
So y'all, that answers a lot of y'all questions on here. So don't go sliding him in his DMs tonight.
Oh my God.
But thank you, Lashawn. I'm gonna drop you down for 1 second while I close. I'm gonna bring you right back up. Okay.
All right, cool, Derek.
Oh, I love these real conversations, being able to be honest and be open and to be able to share, and it's just appreciative, and I appreciate people being able to willing to share their story with me and with you guys. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. Make sure y'all like this, share it, subscribe it, all that good old stuff. I am booking my guests for next week now. Hopefully it's who I want it to be, but if not, I will have somebody else here too. But I'm booking my guest for next week, Thursday, and I will see you guys here. So like, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next week, Thursday, with another episode of Gay Like Me Live. Thank you.